Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Or good morning for most of you, I guess. Just checking that we're live over on my other screen. We are. Okay. I meant to do this live stream yesterday. I did say in my video that I was going to do this live stream yesterday, but I didn't get around to it. Honestly, I was really tired yesterday. I think I just got like really fatigued with all these horrible cases, and I just needed to decompress. So I ended up intending to do the live kind of later on in the night, but then I fell asleep. But I spent the entire day after I'd made my video watching dog training videos, and yeah, so that was my decompression time, and I think I needed it. But I'm all refreshed now, so good to go. This is this case has become more and more disturbing. As more information comes out, the more disturbing it gets. So we're going to go through it all. We're going to go through everything we know so far about this case. Oh dear. This is Elijah Vue. He's 3 years old, and he was reported missing by his caregiver. Just how much care he was giving will become clear. If you've not heard of this case before, then buckle up. You're in for a massive shock. So, caregiver Jesse Vang, boyfriend of Elijah's mother, Katrina, reported Elijah missing about 11 a.m. on February 20th, but said he hadn't seen him since 8 a.m. And this case is courtesy of Two Rivers, Wisconsin. Where's that in the world, I hear you say? Well, this is Two Rivers, small town. It's a few miles away from the shores of Lake Michigan. This is not the sea, this is Lake Michigan, right here. And this is Two Rivers. And Elijah doesn't actually live in Two Rivers. He lives about 2.5 hours away in Wisconsin Dells with his mother and other siblings, or at least one other sibling. I don't know how many children Katrina's got, and I'm not sure that I want to know, because it seems that all of the children that cross Katrina's path are neglected. But yeah, Elijah was staying with Jesse Vang because he needed to be taught how to become a man. Needed to be taught how to become a man at the age of 3 years old. Yeah. So his mother, Katrina, sent him to boot camp. And I'm not being facetious, because the word boot camp, is that 2 words, was actually mentioned in the probable cause affidavit for the when Jesse Vang was arrested. So I went through, I've done a couple of live streams on this case 2 weeks ago. So when Elijah's caregiver, Jesse Vang, and his mother, Katrina Bauer, were arrested, yes, they were arrested, very quickly arrested. They've been in jail ever since. So they had an initial hearing. They've had another hearing since, a bail reduction hearing. They weren't given a bail reduction. Jesse Vang is in jail on a $20,000 bond, and Katrina Bauer on a $15,000 bond. But they can't raise the funds, because in Wisconsin, they have to raise the funds. They have to, it's a cash bond. They have to raise the funds, and they can't. So Katrina was pleading for a bail reduction because she doesn't have, very much of a criminal record. She doesn't have, she does have some, but nothing for violence or child neglect or anything like that. So another one, no doubt, who's been neglecting children, who has, just slipped through the cracks. Jessie Vang, however, has got a huge criminal record, even more so than I investigated. I did another video going through the criminal record of Jessie Vang. But there's more. There's more. There's more than what is in the documents. Yeah. Terrible. So what we're going to do in this live stream is go through the latest from the police, because they're still continuing to update on their Facebook. Not quite daily anymore, but every few days they update about the search on Facebook. So this is Two Rivers Police Department. And then we're going to go through the amended criminal complaint for Katrina Bauer. Because Katrina hasn't just been arrested now on suspected child neglect of Elijah, she's also been neglecting one of Elijah's siblings. So she's getting done for that as well. Now, at the moment, Elijah is still missing. He's been missing since February 20th. I think everybody involved in this case fears the worst for Elijah. No, they've not found him, no. So neither Katrina nor Jessie have been charged with murder or anything to do with Elijah's disappearance above and beyond child neglect. But they're both in jail. They're not going anywhere. Unless somebody raises the funds for them, they're not going anywhere. So yeah. Also, as well as the criminal complaint, which is dreadful, absolutely dreadful, very detailed. I mean, all credit to Manitowoc, I think it's Manitowoc County, and the Two Rivers Police Department. They've been very transparent. They've given us as much information as they can, not only in the criminal complaint, but also in their continuous updates. So it's actually quite pleasing that they've been able to give us so much. So, it's not been a case where we've been going through long periods of void, long periods of we don't know what on earth's going on. The police have been good. And I think they've pulled out all the stops. They've gone above and beyond. The amount of searching that's been done is frankly quite incredible. They've gone out as far as Lake Michigan. So again, it's a few miles away. They've searched the shores of Lake Michigan. They've had teams of volunteers out. They've just done a great deal. The entirety of Two Rivers and all its surrounding areas have been searched. Two Rivers is named Two Rivers because there's two rivers that are either side of it. So you've got one river here, and then you've got one river on the other side. Where's the other river gone? There it is. Need to turn my brightness up on my computer. I can't see anything. There's the other river. So there's two rivers to the east and west of Two Rivers. So they've had divers in the water, and those rivers feed into Lake Michigan. Hence why they've searched the shores of Lake Michigan. So they've gone down the rivers all the way to the shores of Lake Michigan. They've searched the woods. They've done all the things. Also, they've spent a long time searching the landfill. Another case where a landfill search was necessary. The reason being, one of Elijah's shoes was found near a dumpster, the dumpster to the apartments where Elijah was staying. Which are these apartments right here? So this is Mishicot Road, right the way through the middle of Two Rivers. It's like the main drag through Two Rivers. And then the apartments are just a bit up here, I think. Or are they the other way? Yeah, those are the apartments. So this is where Elijah was staying for his boot camp to make him into a man. So we're now expecting toddlers to behave like men. All right, okay. So one of Elijah's shoes was found near a dumpster that belonged to these apartments. And it's also been alleged, although I haven't seen this confirmed, that one of the cadaver dogs hit on the dumpster. Now, that's not confirmed. That's just something that's kind of done the rounds. Don't know whether it's true or not. But something led them to the landfill, which is I think about 40 minutes drive away. Now, the latest update from Two Rivers Police Department, which was on March the 8th, so I'm expecting actually another update today. They've now finished searching the landfill and they've not found anything. Thankfully, they've not found anything. But, you know how difficult landfill searches are. We all watched with horror as the FBI and the Georgia Bureau of Investigation searched for little Quinton Simon in a landfill. And they eventually recovered parts of him. But, you know, if Two Rivers Police Department believe that they've done as much as they can at the landfill, then so be it. But Elijah still has not been found. So I'll read you the latest update and then we'll get into the probable cause for Katrina, the amended probable cause for Katrina, because that fills in all the gaps. You know, if this is the first you've heard of this case and you're a little bit confused about what's actually going on here, well, it all becomes clear. So this was March the 8th from Two Rivers Police Department on Facebook. Elijah Vue has not been found. Over the last several days, we've conducted more searches, primarily of rural areas. So obviously they've done a grid pattern through Two Rivers, and then they've just kept going out and out and out and out. Amazing effort. Searches being conducted at the landfill have been completed. Further searches were conducted on the West Twin River by the DNR, Department of Natural Resources, I think that might be. West Twin River is the bigger of the two rivers. Just go back to the map a second. You'll see that West Twin River is the big one, the wider one. And then you've got East Twin River, which is a smaller one. So they've continued to search the river. As I said, they've been out as far as the shores of Lake Michigan. But as I always say, in cases where water could be involved, searching moving bodies of water are dreadfully difficult. But they've not found anything in the water either. Volunteers from local law enforcement, fire, state and federal agencies, in addition to students from our local technical colleges, conducted a large-scale search yesterday. So that would have been the 7th. They were out in Green Bay. So they're just searching everywhere. They're just literally going as much everywhere. Thank you to all the property owners for their cooperation. We'd also like to thank all those that donated food and beverages for the search efforts. We will continue to search areas with law enforcement personnel, drones and dogs as we continue to follow up on all tips and leads reported to the tip line at 844-267-6648 or via the Manitowoc County Crime Stoppers P3 app. We continue. Now, this is what they're asking for people in the area to look for. They're continuing to seek out video from February 19th. So this is the day before Elijah was reported missing. Because I'm quite sure the cops do not believe Jesse Vang's story. Jesse Vang says that Elijah got out while Jesse Vang was asleep. Although he says that he deadbolted the door. So how can you say in a police interview that you deadbolted the door and then expect police to believe that a 3-year-old's been able to get out of the apartment through a deadbolted door? Doesn't make sense, does it? No, they're not clever people, these. So I don't think the cops believe for 1 second that Elijah disappeared in the way that Jesse wants them to believe. So they are searching for a car, a vehicle, and they want additional video from people in the area from February 19th between the hours of 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. from homeowners and businesses where the vehicle of interest from our last press release may be seen. I'll show you pictures of it in a minute. The vehicle is a 1997 four-door Nissan Altima, beige, bearing Wisconsin registration beginning with A and ending with O, or 0. I think that's 0. Law enforcement currently is in possession of the identified vehicle. So they're not looking for the vehicle, they're looking for the vehicle's, where it went. So reading between the lines, we're kind of thinking maybe that they think that Elijah's body was disposed of on the 19th, or they took him somewhere, alive or deceased, on the 19th between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. That's what I'm reading from this, although I might be wrong, but that's what they're asking for. Okay, so 1997 four-door Nissan Altima, beige, Wisconsin registration beginning with A and ending in 0. They don't want the vehicle. They've got the vehicle. They just want video. So I would say anywhere within a 50-mile radius or even further. Just check if you're in Wisconsin, in the area of Two Rivers. Now, remember, Katrina lives in Wisconsin Dells, which is 2.5 hours away. So I'd say if you're anywhere around here and you've got security cameras, check them. Any dash cam videos, anything at all, check them. Didn't show you the map, did I? Anywhere around, all around here, all around, just everywhere. If you're in this area of Wisconsin, everywhere, check everywhere. Every camera, everything. Because I think if they can get a number of sightings together, they can at least go in the direction that vehicle went in. Due to the duration of the hours requested to be reviewed, we are asking the public beyond the Greater Two Rivers area and adjacent counties to review their videos as well. So you don't even have to be in the same county. So I think they just want people to go out as far as they possibly can. And then there's a link here. Use the following link to complete a short informational form and upload video. So I'll put this page in the chat and I'll link it in the description box after. So that will be a live link for anybody who needs it. If you experience technical difficulties or do not have access to upload your video, please call the tip line 844-267-6648. Is that the same number that's scrolling? So when I set this up, sometimes they change numbers. No, it's that number. So the number that's scrolling across the bottom of your screen, that's the tip line. On March the 7th, Katrina Bauer appeared in Manitowoc County Circuit Court for a preliminary hearing. So this was where she requested a bail reduction. And the judge said, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Prior to the hearing, an amendment was made to the criminal complaint in this case. We're going to read that shortly. The amendment affected the charge of party to the crime, neglect of a child against Bauer, to the charge of party to the crime, chronic neglect of a child. So they upped the charge, but there's also an additional charge for another child. Both Jesse Vang's and Katrina Bauer's preliminary hearings were adjourned to Thursday, March 14th. So Jesse Vang doesn't even have a lawyer yet because, it's only it's a small county, and Katrina Bauer's got public defenders now, but they can't give the same public defenders to two defendants that belong to the same case for obvious reasons, because if they start blaming each other, they're obviously going to have lawyers to defend their side of the story. They can't give them the same lawyer. That's a massive conflict of interest. So as of March the 7th, Jesse doesn't even have a public defender yet. But I'm assuming that they'll have found him one by March the 14th, which is this Thursday, so in 3 days' time. So I'll update after that hearing. Maybe I'll even live stream the hearing, depending on what time it's on and what else is going on. I didn't bother live streaming the previous hearing or playing it after the fact because there was not really much to talk about. Katrina Bauer was denied a bond reduction. Jesse Vang started to complain about not getting a bond reduction, and the judge just shut him down, saying, well, you've not even got a lawyer yet, so yeah. So no, you can sit in jail and enjoy it. So 3 days' time, we'll get an update from the court. The community support we have received has been amazing as we continue to look for Elijah. Recently, a local group began decorating downtown light poles with blue and green ribbons in support of the efforts to find Elijah. We encourage all of you to do the same in addition to your tips and search efforts. We appreciate everyone's concern, dedication, and assistance in trying to locate Elijah. So that's from the police chief, Captain Andrew Ratz at Two Rivers Police Department. Okay, let me find you a picture of that vehicle, because they did post one. Where is it at? Where is it at? There it is. That's the vehicle. So that's what you're looking for. 1997 Nissan Altima. So not a terribly distinctive vehicle, honestly, but still. Another one. So if you're in Manitowoc County or any of the adjacent counties, if you're in Wisconsin Dells, because Katrina lives there, or in any of the surrounding areas, then if you've got surveillance, got a dash cam or anything that might have recorded video from February 19th between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. This car's very battered. It's like full of, looks like rusty. So it's an old car. So where did that car go? What was that car doing on the afternoon into the evening of February 19th? That could be the key to finding Elijah. So hopefully they're able to, hone in their searching based on where that vehicle is located. All right, so let's look at the criminal complaint. Oh no, I've got one more thing to show you before we get into the criminal complaint. Now, in the last live stream I did a couple of weeks ago about this case, I went through the Wisconsin Circuit Court records because Wisconsin has got good criminal, like their website is really nice because you can search the whole of Wisconsin in one fell swoop. You don't have to worry about, this county and that county and the other county. It's all in one nice package. I don't even have to use my VPN to get on it. So I went through Katrina and Jesse Vang's criminal records, but there's more that wasn't available on the the state of Wisconsin court records. This is NBC. What's it called? NBC 26. So NBC26.com, this is from. I'll put all these links in the description after the live stream because yet again I forgot. Can I get rid of that ad? No, probably not. Can I? Close. There we go. All right. Jesse Vang was charged in 2016 with conspiracy to commit human trafficking. However, unbeknownst to the reason why, the charge was dismissed. He was also charged with SA. Also, that charge was dismissed. I think because the victim didn't want to press charges. So anyhow, it's only a little bit, but this is what NBC have been able to glean. And again, this is from a few days ago. Learning more about the history of Jesse Vang, the caregiver of a 3-year-old boy who was sent for boot camp to make him a man. All right. Jesse Vang was babysitting Elijah on February 20th, reported the boy missing according to criminal complaint. Vang is charged with neglecting a child, but is not charged in Vue's disappearance. We learned this week about some of Jesse Vang's history. Note the following is disturbing. You're saying that again. Jesse Vang was charged in the Outagamie County in 2016 with conspiracy to commit human trafficking and sexual assault. The charges were later dismissed, but here is some of what the complaint says. Victim was a woman. 2 women were at a party in Appleton. Yeah, we've got an Appleton. Not too far. Oh, no, that's Appley, not Appleton. Anyway, 2 women were at a party in Appleton using meth and heroin and later went to a hotel. The victim used more drugs at the hotel, was left alone with 2 men and was SA'd. The victim was told she would be taken to Minnesota and would not be her own person anymore. Who were the 2 men? Well, one of them was Jesse Vang. Okay. The victim feared she would be forced to work in the sex trade, and the other woman eventually returned, and the 2 women got away to another hotel where they stayed in a bathroom, and someone must have called the police. So I can imagine the cops not being too keen to press this if the victim, didn't want to go through with it. You've got a woman who has been taking meth and been taking heroin. She's not going to be a great witness. There's an Appleton here in Warrington. Oh, there you go. I knew I'd heard of Appleton before. We've got Appley Bridge just down the road. That's what I was thinking of. Okay. So I can imagine why these charges were dismissed. You've got no evidence, really. You've got a woman drugged out saying that 2 men said they were going to take her to Minnesota and basically sell her out to whoever wanted. Search warrant says about a month and a half later, the victim told the police she no longer wanted the SA charge investigated. Jesse Vang was charged anyway with conspiracy to commit human trafficking and SA, but court documents say the charges were dismissed after a federal indictment against Vang. So obviously the Wisconsin state records don't record this, or else I would have seen it. But he was charged federally. So it was all dropped because of this federal indictment and because the victim didn't want to go through with it. NBC 26 found no federal human trafficking RSA charges against Vang. However, he was federally indicted on conspiracy to distribute meth and sentenced to federal prison and then probation. So he's been in federal prison. So he had a child neglect charge going back a long way. He had an assault charge and then a bunch of drug charges. That's what you can find on the Wisconsin state website. Go and check my previous live. I went through it all. But it obviously doesn't show you federal charges. But NBC 26 searched a federal prison database for the name Jesse Vang. There was one result which said that a federal inmate was released in February 2022. So he was in federal prison, if this is the same Jesse Vang, because there are actually 3 Jesse Vangs in the state records. So you need the birthdays. He was born in 1984. So knowing he was born in 1984 told me which Jesse Vang it was. So presumably a federal, maybe a federal prison database. Would that not have the birthday on? But anyway, if it's the same Jesse Vang, he was released from federal prison on conspiracy, charged with conspiracy to distribute meth. So this guy is a bit of a big time drug dealer. If he's caught the sights of the feds, then we're not looking at some little, dealing a little bit out of his, garden shed. No, a thug. Thank you, Holly. Perfect word to use. He's a thug. He's an absolute thug. But this is who Katrina Bauer has hooked up with. This is who Katrina Bauer thinks it's okay to send her 3-year-old son to make him a man. Yeah. That's what Katrina Bauer thought was useful, because a 3-year-old needs to maybe get off. He needs to just get off the couch, man up. I don't know, go and work down a coal mine or something manly. No, he's not the bio dad. The bio dad is called Jimmy Vue. He's either a friend of Jesse or a family member. I've heard both. I've heard that he's Jesse Vang's cousin, but I can't confirm that. And but anyway, they know each other. So Jimmy Vue is in jail. So while Jimmy Vue is in jail, Katrina Bauer is hanging out, hooking up with Jesse Vang. So this is the amended criminal complaint for Katrina Bauer. You also her cousin. Yeah. I can't confirm whether the cousins or not. I might be able to find some links on Ancestry, just haven't looked. All right. So this is the amended criminal complaint. She lives in Wisconsin Dells, 2.5 hours away. Keep that in mind as we go through this. Like the amount of to-ing and fro-ing Katrina Bauer did to hook up with Jesse Vang whilst her child was in boot camp is quite something. So if you read the initial criminal complaint, then you'll remember a lot of this first page. Like the first couple of pages are the same, but it just goes into so much more detail. But for those who are new to this case, let's just read it all. So the undersigned complainant, being duly sworn, states that the following complaint is true and correct. Count 1, chronic neglect of a child. Specified harm did not occur. Specified harm did not occur. So I suppose they can't confirm what harm was done. I don't know what that means. As a party to a crime. The above named defendant, Katrina Bauer, on or between February 12th, 2024 to February 18th, 2024, in the city of Two Rivers, as a party to a crime, being a person responsible for the welfare of a child. Victim child 1, date of birth 8/2020. So that is Elijah. Through her action, for reason other than poverty, neglectfully failed to provide necessary care so as to seriously endanger the physical, mental, or emotional health of the child, and the nature and probable consequences of this violation would be harm under, and then the statute. Now, Jessie reported Elijah missing on the 20th. So they've amended the dates, though, because I think this is what they can prove. So I don't know whether they're saying that Elijah was dead or died on February 18th. I don't know where they're going with that date. February 12th is the date that Jessie took over the caring role for Elijah. February 12th is the date that Katrina sent him to boot camp to become a man. But it's interesting that they've got February 18th here. It's also interesting that they're looking for the footage from people's surveillance for that beige Nissan Altima on the 19th. So it's interesting that they've got those two dates. Okay. Although the harm did not actually occur and the actor is guilty. Okay, what's this? Although the harm did not actually occur and the actor is guilty of chronic neglect, as she committed 3 or more violations under this statute. And upon conviction, may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned not more than 6 years or both. So that's chronic neglect. That's count 1. Obstructing an officer is count 2. The above named, they've basically thrown the book at her. Yeah, good. The above named defendant, on or before Tuesday, February 20th, in the city of Two Rivers, did knowingly obstruct an officer while such officer was doing an act in an official capacity and with the lawful authority, obstructed officers contrary to, and then that's the statute, a Class A misdemeanor, and upon conviction may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned for not more than 9 months or both. So I don't know what she did to obstruct an officer. Count 3, obstructing an officer. So same. The above named defendant on or before Tuesday, February 20th, and then it's the same. Class A misdemeanor. Count 4, neglecting a different child. Neglecting a child, specified harm did not occur. I don't know what that means. Does it mean that they can't specify what harm was done, but they just know that neglect was there? The above named defendant on or before Wednesday, on or about Wednesday, February 14th, and they have the proof for this. In the city of Two Rivers, being a person responsible for the welfare of a child, victim 2. So this child was born in May 2017. So this child's Elijah's older sibling. So she's going to be 6. Yeah, she's going to be 6. She was 7 in May. Through her action, for reasons other than poverty, did negligently fail to provide necessary care so as to seriously endanger the physical, mental, or emotional health of the child, and the natural and probable consequences of this violation would be harm under, and then that statute. So that's a Class A misdemeanor, and upon conviction may be fined not more than $10,000 or imprisoned for not more than 9 months, or both. All right, hold on to your hats. This is the probable cause. Are you ready? All right. The complainant alleges he is informed by the reports of Megan Crumpian, known to complainant to be a detective with the Two Rivers Police Department, and Detective Lieutenant Jacob Glazer of the Two Rivers Police Department, that the incident occurred in the city of Two Rivers, and based on the information provided by these detectives, on 2/20/24, 20th of February, the Two Rivers PD were notified by dispatch that Jesse Vang called 911 at 10:59 a.m., reporting that he was babysitting a 3-year-old child victim, Elijah. Vang reported that while watching the child, he fell asleep. Not quite, though. Not quite. A little bit more to it than that. Let's keep reading. When he woke up, the child was missing. Law enforcement responded to the Vang residence at 3918 Mishicot Road, apartment 102 in Two Rivers, in an attempt to locate the victim. Law enforcement have been unsuccessful in locating the child as of February 26th. Well, so that's from the initial complaint. We're now on March the 11th, and he still has not been located. But this is from the initial complaint. 2/20/24, Detective Clumpian of the Two Rivers PD spoke with Vang at the residence. And he said he was in a relationship with the victim child's mother, Katrina Bauer. Vang stated that the child victim, so child victim 1, so this is Elijah, had been staying with him recently. Vang stated he'd been trying to help Bauer correct Elijah's bad behaviours. How bad can a 3-year-old actually be? How bad can a 3-year-old get that you need to send him to boot camp to make him a man? What, like little tantrums? Little tantrums cause what? I don't know. I don't know. Vang stated he'd been assisting in the care of Elijah for approximately 1 month, but not continuously. Vang stated that on today's date, 2/20/24, he woke up with his autistic teenage son. So there's another child in this residence. There's a child, a school-age child, who's also there. So this autistic child, I don't know how severe his autism is. I don't know whether he can be a witness to any of this. I don't know whether he's verbal. I've heard he is. But anyway, so woke up with this autistic teenage son. Vang helped his son with getting on the bus at approximately 7:30. Vang stated child victim Elijah was still asleep after he walked his son out to the bus. Vang stated he woke Elijah at 8 o'clock and brought him into the bedroom. So Elijah was asleep on a futon in the living room. Why wouldn't you just let him sleep? This is how nonsense this story is. Why wouldn't you just let him sleep? Why would you have to wake him up because you wanted to go to sleep? Why would you have to wake a child up so that you could go to sleep? Makes zero sense, but this is what he said. Brought him into the bedroom with him. Vang stated that he shut the door and Vang fell asleep. What he actually did was made Elijah stand there at the foot of his bed and pray while he was asleep. This is what he said. Now, the cops may have reason to believe that this didn't occur because Elijah was already dead by then. But obviously that's a speculation. Vang stated he woke up approximately 11 o'clock and found that Elijah was gone. He called 911 to report him missing. 12/20/24, Detective Glazier spoke with Bauer. Bauer stated that Elijah had been in the care of Jessie Vang for approximately 1 week. She resides in the Wisconsin Dells. She stated she dropped off Elijah with Jessie Vang on the 12th of February in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin. She intended on Elijah coming back to the Wisconsin Dells on the 23rd. So that would be when his boot camp finished, you know, when he was all manly at the age of 3. Yeah, okay. So 2/20/24, DCI agent Neil Loffey spoke with Katrina Bauer and denied that she was in Manitowoc County on February 16th or 17th. However, she was. Detective Klumpian is aware that pursuant to search warrants, law enforcement did conduct forensic extractions of Jessie Vang and Katrina Bauer's cell phones after they were consensually turned over to law enforcement. Based on analysis of these cell phones, Katrina Bauer's statement that she was not in the area on February 16th to 17th wasn't true. Law enforcement located messages from Vang to Bauer at approximately 6:39 p.m. and 6:49 p.m. February 17th, where Vang tells Bauer that he's angry with Elijah for overfilling his diaper. How can you, at the age of 3, control how much pee and poo you're going to do? You can't do that as an adult. You can't control the internal workings of your body. You know, if you need to pee, you pee until it's finished. If you need to poop, you poop until it's finished. You can't control how much poop goes in your diaper at the age of 3 or at any other age. So Vang gave Elijah a cold shower. Noted he was clean but scared. So we've heard all this. This is all part of the original complaint. We've not got up to the new bits yet. Detective Lieutenant Glazier spoke with Katrina Bauer, and she stated that Jessie Vang was the enforcer of rules in the relationship. And that was the reason for sending Elijah to stay with Vang. She discussed him the limits of what discipline she did not want used. Other than that, she's fine with whatever discipline Vang enforces. She gave examples of discipline, including praying, saying he was sorry, and going over 4 rules. So I don't know what these 4 rules are that he's meant to be memorizing at the age of 3. He's not even nearly 4. He'll only be 4 in August. He's only like 3.5. At no point did she admit she was in the city of Two Rivers between February 12th and February 20th, or had any face-to-face contact with Elijah. She said she was discussing behavior issues with Vang around Thanksgiving of 2023. And that he said she needed to try harder to stop the behavior. What behavior? Just like normal behavior for a 3-year-old or what? Bauer stated she wanted Vang to teach Elijah by example how to be a man. Okay. She said the first time Elijah had gone to stay with Vang without her was in January 2024. So this isn't the first time that Elijah's been sent to boot camp to learn how to be a man. This is not the first time it's happened. She said the past week was the longest time that Elijah had stayed with Vang without her being there. Detective Lieutenant Glazier said, while talked about this past week, she admitted she had been in Two Rivers on February 16th. She said she left the Wisconsin Dells at around 6 to 7 p.m. and arrived in Two Rivers late that night. So remember, it's 2.5 hours away. She saw child victim Elijah on the couch but he was tired. She said she left early on February 17th. She was confronted about being in Two Rivers on a different day, and she did admit she was in Two Rivers on February 14th for a period of time and then went back home. So, as I said, just tot up in your head how many miles this woman is doing. Why doesn't she just stay there? Why is she toing and froing? So she drops Elijah off at on the 12th. Then she goes back home. Then she goes back to Two Rivers on the 14th, goes back home, and then goes back to Two Rivers on the 16th, stays the night, and then leaves on the 17th. And then all of this went down on the 20th. How many miles did she do unnecessarily? But anyhow, on 2/20/24, Vang consented to meeting with law enforcement at Two Rivers PD and agreed to a consensual interview. During the course of the interview conducted by Detective Michael Herman of the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office, Detective Herman also spoke with Jessie Vang at the apartment prior to going to the Two Rivers Police Department. Vang made consensual statements in regard to his recent interactions with Elijah. Vang stated that Elijah was afraid of him and then corrected himself and stated that he respects me. Stated that they put Elijah here as punishment for his bad behaviour. They were trying to teach him how to be good here and good at home. Vang indicated that he's trying to make him understand that going home is like a privilege. Okay, all right. Vang stated that Elijah was disciplined using timeouts. He described the timeouts as being standing for periods of time from 1 to 3 hours. He's 3. A timeout should be no longer than 3 minutes for a 3-year-old, not 3 hours. During this time, Elijah was required to pray or say, "I'm sorry, Mommy," for 3 hours. Vang reported that Elijah was in timeout for the majority of this time with Vang, as it was intended to be a form of boot camp. Other than getting into things, which is perfectly normal for a 3-year-old to do because they're curious about stuff, Vang was unable to identify specific bad behaviours which required a timeout. Vang reported that Elijah was not potty trained and that he is still wearing diapers. Vang advised that he changed Elijah's diaper at least once a day. Oh, at least once a day. And then punish the child with a cold shower when he overfills his diaper. Come on now. On the evening of the 19th, Vang, this is what he said, changed Elijah's diaper prior to him going to bed between 8 and 9 p.m. He then watched Ready Player One, assumes a movie, prior to putting him to bed. He stated that Elijah was not watching the movie as Vang put him in punishment. He stated that Elijah will stand in the corner or stand by the bed by me. He gets pretty tired from, I guess, like from standing to. Do you think at the age of 3, standing for 3 hours? It's torture. This is torture. Torture for getting into things, whatever that means. He explained he does not want to be mean to him. Oh, really? But he's trying to teach him to be more respectful. He was asked about February 19th if he made Elijah stand, which he replied, yeah, for probably like 2 to 3 hours. Vang confirmed again that Elijah stands for 2 to 3 hours without sitting. In the event that Elijah tries to sit down, he will say, "You want cold water." He then indicated he's fine. It's not like his knees are shaking and about to fall over, you know. Oh, well, that's okay then. Make him stand for another 3 hours. So the cold shower that he gave Elijah, when he overfilled his diaper, that was the punishment. On the morning of 2/20/24, Vang woke up at approximately 7:30, prepared his son for school. At that time, he saw Elijah sleeping on the futon sofa in the living room. Vang took his son to the bus stop and locked the apartment door. Upon returning to the apartment, Vang found Elijah still sleeping on the sofa. He woke Elijah and they ate breakfast. He reported that Elijah ate some cereal, which had frosting on one side and wheat on the other, without milk. They then went to Vang's bedroom, where Elijah was told to stand and pray near the foot of Vang's bed. So what had he done? What had he done? Because he'd been asleep. This is all what Jesse Vang said. What had he done? Like, slept too long? So he had to be woken up so that he could go into punishment. What had he done? Reported that Elijah ate some cereal. Oh, I've read that. Okay. Did not change Elijah's diaper as he was too tired. Elijah was not allowed to do fun things as he was in timeout. When asked about any toys in the apartment, Vang reported that there was one toy which he received at Christmas time. This toy was similar to a toolbox. However, he was not allowed to play with it until the week of 2/12/24 so the time he was there. He was not allowed to play with it during the time he was there, as he was in a timeout. So he was in a timeout for the whole time. Not allowed to play with it, the one toy that's in the apartment. Right. When asked what happened if the timeout does not work, Vang stated he would give him an ultimatum. How is a 3-year-old gonna understand an ultimatum? Vang reported that the ultimatum was usually, do you want some cold water? Vang reported that he did not like cold water, but did not know why. He denied following through with ultimatums. Well, you did follow through with ultimatums, because when he overfilled his diaper, in your own words, you gave him a cold shower. So overfilling his diaper was a bad thing, and you gave him punishment of washing him in cold water. Jean, member for 8 months. Thank you. When asked about what victim ate, he said he ate pizza, noodles, and cereal and similar items. I bet he didn't feed him. I bet you any money he didn't feed him. He was unable to provide specific details as to the food. While Vang was sleeping, he would lock the door to the apartment at the doorknob, deadbolt, and with a security chain attached at the top of the door to keep Elijah from walking out of the apartment. So I say again, how did he get out? So if you go to bed, he said when he goes to sleep, he deadbolts the door and puts a chain on it. So he went to sleep, allegedly, 8 a.m. So he must have locked the door behind him with a deadbolt with a security chain. So how did Elijah get out of the house? Absolute complete lies. Emily, member for 28 months. Oh, you are an OG. And Walkabout Bridge, thanks for joining. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. Yeah, Limbo's under the door, yeah. Okay. Vang reported on the evening prior he had consumed 3 12-ounce Budweiser beers and 1 cyclobenzaprine, so a benzo, as a sleep aid. Natilla the Hun, member for 12 months. Thank you. All right. All right, so this is where it gets really, really concerning. Really concerning. So these are the additional charges for Katrina Bauer. So this is the new stuff. Katrina Bauer and Jesse Vang's cell phones were reviewed by law enforcement, including text and Facebook messaging. On February 13th at approximately 9:30 p.m., Katrina Bauer and Jesse Vang began discussing Katrina coming to Jesse's apartment for sex. All right. Jesse says that Katrina cannot see Elijah when she gets to the apartment, and that Elijah can be placed in the bathroom while they have sex. Okay, so locking him in the bathroom now. All right. So they can have sexy time. Where's the autistic son when all this is going on? I want to know, because that child isn't mentioned, other than Jesse taking him to school or taking him to the bus. Jesse says that Katrina cannot see it right. Place him in the bathroom. At approximately 10:12 p.m., Katrina sends a message to Jesse, and child victim 2 can sleep in the car. So this is a 6-year-old. Then at approximately 11:45, he says Elijah will be put in the living room and that Katrina needs to be quiet walking through. Okay. So Katrina takes her 6-year-old child, puts the child in the car, says, oh, the child's going to sleep in the car. Okay, fine. Gets to the apartment for sexy time. All right. So Elijah is in the living room. So not locked in the bathroom, thankfully. He's in the living room. Katrina needs to be quiet. 12:39 a.m. on February 14th, Jesse asks Katrina to send her location so he knows when to put Elijah to sleep. But okay, so this is 20-1 in the morning. Why would Elijah not be asleep at 20-1 in the morning? And how would he knock him to sleep? Does he like force him to stay awake and then only sleep when he says? Autistic son is non-verbal. Okay. So this guy, this son can't even speak about what he's witnessing. Imagine the trauma he's in. I want to know that. I want to know that kid's getting some help, some therapy or something. Better carers. I don't know where that kid's mother is. Anyway, where were we? All right. So we don't know how he's being put to sleep. What's he doing? Drugging him? I don't know. Emily gifted 5 memberships. Let's see who's got them. Come on, keep going. All right. Pamela, Archie's mum, little Miss Maded, Martha Mayhem, Thunder Horse, and oh no, Pamela, sorry, you didn't get one. You just made a comment. I was thinking, hold on a minute. We've got 6 members here, but no, sorry. Archie's mum, Little Miss, Martha, Thunder Horse, and Jadzia, 1969. So you guys, you get a month's free memberships courtesy of Emily. Thank you so much, Emily. All right, so sounds to me like he's forcing him to stay awake and then making him sleep when he wants to. They also discuss her stopping at Quick Trip in Manitowoc while on the way. What's Quick Trip? Is that like a shop? What is it? On February 14th, Katrina Bauer's cell phone arrives in Two Rivers at approximately 2:27 a.m. There were Facebook messages between Katrina Bauer and Jesse Vang. At 2:35 a.m., Katrina asked Jesse, "Is there a way to shut off your headlights completely?" Jesse responds, "No, cannot that should be shut off, I think, completely. Katrina messages, I can't find, and then child victim 2's cell phone. But a cop just passed by, so I want to make sure she's good. So she's going to leave this child at 6 years old in the car, wants to shut the lights off, but needs the child's phone so that obviously she's got something to do. Quick Trip is a gas station convenience store. Thank you. So we're going to just keep this one in the car. All right, great. Great. Cop just passed by, so I want to make sure she's good. You know, not like crying to get out or anything that might... I mean, that shows you that she knows what she's doing is wrong. Why can't she just take her inside? Okay. Child victim 2 is a child for which Katrina Bauer is the parent of. Katrina Bauer indicated that child victim 2 is autistic to law enforcement. So we've got an autistic 6-year-old sitting in the car with no light and has got to be good because a cop might notice. All right, cool. Katrina message, let me find her phone quick because I need to have some type of sound for her. Jessie messaged, probably think someone is warming up. Probably think someone is warming up. Katrina responded, not worth the risk. I'll leave it off for a bit, then turn it on again. So what does that mean? Someone is warming up. And then she responded, not worth the risk. I'll leave it off for a bit, then turn it on again. I don't know what that means. I don't know whether that means the heater. She didn't turn the heater off. Or the phone, I don't know. Jessie said, okay. She messaged, she found the phone, but it was dead. So now this child is being left in the car, in the dark, in the middle of the night, in a strange place, and her phone's dead. She can't even have the phone for sound, so she's got to stay there. She questions whether to leave her phone on but mute it around 2:40. I thought the phone was dead. Oh, leave her phone. Right, so she's going to leave her phone for the daughter. Oh, how kind of her. How kind of her. She also messages, it should stay warm for a bit, right? And he messages, yeah, it will. So she's going to turn the entire car off, not leave the heater on. No, she's going to turn the entire car off. So this child is now in the cold, in the dark, on her own, in a strange place, with only Katrina's phone for company. I can't. At approximately 3:13 a.m., a photograph was taken and the GPS indicates she was at 3918 Mishicot Drive, Two Rivers. So that's the apartment complex. The photo shows Elijah lying down on a bed. He's blindfolded. They've blindfolded a 3-year-old. He's got bruising on his jawline and neck to the left side, as well as bruising on his upper left arm. So they're taking a photograph of a bruised up toddler with a blindfold on. Why? If this is not torture, what is it? Katrina Bauer confirmed that she took the picture. So the child's own mother is taking a picture of him, what, as a memento of his boot camp. Oh, I need a memory to remind me to show Elijah when he's older, you know, at the point he became a man during his boot camp. What mother would agree to send a child to a boot camp in the first place, but then gets there for sex and takes a photograph of her toddler with a blindfold on, doesn't say whether he's awake or asleep, who's bruised, his jaw's bruised, his neck's bruised, or he's probably been grabbed round the neck and punched in the face. This is another Harmony Montgomery. We've just had Adam Montgomery's trial. We've now got this. This is another Harmony Montgomery or Cody Bigsby. Corey Bigsby's trial's going on right now. Not been televised. They've got a camera in the court. Sidebar. Corey Bigsby's trial. Looking forward to watching it. But no. They've got cameras in the court, but they're not televised. No one's watching. No, you can't watch it. Can't watch it. Anyhow, due to finish this week, very few witnesses, Corey's trial. I'll do an update after the trial's over. Okay, all right. Katrina Bauer confirmed that she took the picture and later deleted it at 4:12 a.m. Katrina's phone leaves Two Rivers at approximately 4:30 a.m. on February 14th. So she's only just got there and she's leaving again. So she gets there. She's in Two Rivers at 2:27. She's messaging about the car, so she's clearly still in the car at 2:40. So she goes in the apartment for a couple of hours, not quite 2 hours, and then leaves again. So she has a quickie with Jessie, takes a photo of her bruised up blindfolded son and leaves. Booty call, the kids are irrelevant. Absolutely, that's absolutely what this is. Disgusting. According to the National Weather Service records, the low temperature for Two Rivers on February 14th was 27 degrees and the high was 36 degrees. So this is the middle of the night, so it's going to be towards the latter, the lower end, isn't it? 27 degrees. For those of you in the UK and places that do Celsius, what's that? About minus 3, minus 4. Hold on. 27 F2C. Minus 2.7. So call it minus 3. All right, great. So we're at minus 3 in a car with no heating on. Was that when he got out? I don't think he got out at all. I don't think he got out of his own volition. I don't think he got out of there alive, if you want my honest opinion about this, and I hope I'm wrong. In a review of Facebook Messenger messages between Katrina Bauer and Jessie Vang, officers located a photograph taken on February 15th at approximately 8:24, showing Elijah standing in a corner in a diaper only. Hands appear to be in a praying position and the diaper looks full. Oh yeah, because he only changed the diaper once a day. So February 15th, he's standing there with a full diaper, otherwise naked, in the corner praying. And that's in Jessie Vang's apartment. Phone records further indicate that Katrina Bauer returned to the city of Manitowoc on February 16th at approximately 11:01 p.m. She called Jessie Vang's phone at 11:15, went to Quick Trip to purchase items, which were confirmed by surveillance video. So she's doing it all again. In two days later, she's doing it all again. The 6-year-old's lucky to be alive, yeah. Yeah, I mean, did she, bundle her up in a nice warm coat, with big blankets? No, I bet she didn't. I bet that child did not have a blanket with her. I bet that child was just sat there freezing, crying probably told not allowed to cry in case a cop notices. So at 11:21 p.m, Katrina Bauer texts Jesse's phone. On, put him to sleep. Jesse responded, okay. So again, is this child not allowed to sleep when he wants to? Is this child only allowed to sleep when Jesse says so? And if so, how is Jesse putting this child to sleep? Was this child drugged with benzos? Because we know that Jesse Vang has benzos in the property because he admitted taking a benzo with his 3 buddies, Budweisers, on the 19th. So is he giving Elijah benzos? Did he overdose? Is that what happened? I don't know. Just saying. There's plenty of other ways he could die from the conditions that he was being treated in. However, just a question. Sasha, member for 24 months, 2 whole years. Thank you so much. So if he's never found, is there enough to charge him with murder? Don't know. I mean, look, they charged Corey Bigsby with murder, didn't they? They charged Adam Montgomery with murder, but they had physical evidence in Adam's case. You know, they had evidence that Harmony was deceased because there was signs of human decomposition in the ceiling of one of the properties they lived in. But they charged Corey Bigsby. Be interesting to see what the jury thinks of it. But they have a witness there. A 7-year-old child testified that he saw his 4-year-old brother dead in Corey's case. So maybe not. If there's no witnesses and there's no physical evidence, maybe not. Yeah, he did. He testified the other day. He was, I think he testified via video link, but he was, it was like two and a half hours he was on the stand. Why don't they just give the kids up? I know. They do it for money. They do it to keep the welfare money. Okay, where are we at? So at 12:30 a.m. on February 17th, Katrina Bauer and Jesse's cell phones move to the city of Manitowoc. So now Jesse's on the move now. Jesse's on the move. How many miles away is Manitowoc? Manitowoc. All right, so 8 miles away. So the cell phones are both moving to Manitowoc down here. So it doesn't surprise me that they've checked the shores of Lake Michigan, because obviously the rivers feed into it, but also Manitowoc's on the shoreline there. So I think they want to know the full movements of all of this, don't they? All right. At approximately 12:50 a.m., Jesse Vang went to Saucy's Bar in the city of Manitowoc and went inside by himself. This was confirmed by a patron of the bar. So Jesse's gone for a beer. Well, where's Elijah? Where's Elijah? Because isn't Jesse meant to be the caregiver? So if Katrina's in Manitowoc and Jesse's in Manitowoc. Where's Elijah? And where's Katrina's other daughter as well? Where's the daughter? There's been no blood evidence. We don't know. We don't know what evidence has been found in the apartment. They may have found evidence in the apartment. If they found evidence in the apartment that indicates, blood or decom, then yes, they've got enough to charge with murder, in my opinion. Okay. So Jesse's gone for a beer in the bar, Saucy's bar. This was confirmed by patron. The phones separate for about an hour. During that time, Katrina Bauer travelled to the Quick Trip, located at 2103 South 42nd Street in Manitowoc. Officers were able to view surveillance. In that video, Katrina can be seen sitting in the driver's seat of her vehicle. There is no child seen in the vehicle. So where is Elijah and where is his sister? Did they leave Katrina's children with Jesse's 15-year-old? I don't know. Don't know. At approximately 1:45, Katrina is seen making purchases inside Quick Trip alone. At approximately 1:55 a.m., Katrina's phone travels to Jesse Vang's location and they return back to Jesse Vang's apartment in Two Rivers. So again, for another quickie here. All right. Approximately 5 a.m., she leaves Two Rivers. So she spent like 3 hours there and then leaves again. So when does she sleep? She must sleep in the day. So if she sleeps in the day, where is her child? Where is her 6-year-old when she's asleep? And I think she's got other children as well. Presumably, the child, I don't know whether the child will be at school. Don't know what educational arrangement this child has. If this child's toing and froing in the middle of the night, can't imagine that education is really hot on Katrina's mind, other than sending her toddler to boot camp to make him a man. Okay, February 16th. So this is the little girl, child victim 2. It was being taken care of by a person in the Wisconsin Dells area. Oh, okay. Right, good. Hopefully that person wasn't another Jesse Vang. But Elijah was in Two Rivers and supposed to be under the care of Jesse Vang and Katrina Bauer. But where was he? Law enforcement have been unable to locate anyone other than Jesse Vang or Katrina Bauer who cared for the child on February 16th and 17th. So did Jesse just put him to sleep and leave him alone in the apartment? Well, if he did, where's the autistic teenager? So what if Jesse and Katrina get charged with murder, or Jesse gets charged with murder, and he turns around and blames his autistic teenager? That's very possible, isn't it? You say, oh, I just went for a beer in Manitowoc with my girlfriend, although she didn't come with me to the bar. I went on my own, but she went to the gas station while I was, having a beer. And then I left Elijah alive and well and asleep, because I put him to sleep before I left, and it was my autistic 15-year-old that killed him. You can just imagine it, can't you? February 18th, approximately 4:36 a.m., Jesse Vang messages Katrina, I told you to trust me. I'm a make sure he hates me and being here. She responded, don't want him to hate you, just fear you. She's talking about her 3-year-old. Well, I don't want him to hate you, but I want him to fear you. As if that's better. Jesse responds, it's okay, someone had to be the bad person. Katrina messaged, I know, but either way, he can fear you and respect you. Jesse messaged, he did fear me. but he didn't respect me. Now I'm making him respect me. So this is talking like Elijah was alive on the 18th. So if he tries to blame his autistic son, who was, you know, maybe, I don't know, maybe left in charge, then they'll bring out these messages and say, well, what do you mean by this? Now I'm making him respect me. So what happened on February 18th? What happened on February 18th? The information provided by Agent Lofi, Lieutenant Oswald, Detective Herman, Detective Glazier, and Detective Clumpian is believed because they have provided true and reliable information as law enforcement officers. The information provided by Jesse Vang and Katrina Bauer is believed as it's based on their observations and experiences. Complainant is informed by the records of Wisconsin Circuit Court, blah, blah, blah. Known to complainant to be reliable as they are records maintained by circuit courts. All right. So there you go. That's it. Wow. Wow. Oh, yeah, they're both in jail, yeah. Yeah. Katrina Bauer had a preliminary hearing last week on the 7th, but it ended up being adjourned. But she asked for a bail reduction, and that was denied by the judge. So she's in jail on a $15,000 bond, and Jesse Vang's in jail on a $20,000 bond. Yeah, let's send them both to boot camp. The he did and he didn't comments feels past tense. It does. It definitely does. But he did fear me, but he didn't respect me. Now I'm making him respect me. So it sounds like he's doing something to Elijah now. So he did fear him, but he didn't respect him. So therefore, he's going to have to do more to make him respectful. So if he wasn't drugged and died of an overdose, then he was beaten to death or something horrendous. That's my guess. Yeah, grandma, Elijah's grandma, sent a statement into the court saying that she didn't want her daughter to get bond. But her own mother knows what a lowlife she is. Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, Elijah's grandma sent a letter to the court. They both need to go to boot camp. They need to give them cold showers and make them stand in a corner and pray in their cell. And then when they get tired, just give them another cold shower. Yeah, she's not in. Katrina and her mother don't get on. Could be cold water shock. Yeah, it could. It could. I mean, we don't know whether he's making him sit in a cold bath or, you know, putting ice in the bath or whatever. We just can't imagine some of the things that this little boy might have endured. It's nothing more than torture. It's pure torture. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. Anyhow, that's Elijah's case up to date. So the latest, for those if you've just come in, just going to highlight this again from the police, from Two Rivers PD. If you're in Manitowoc County or any of the adjacent counties, and I would say all the way through to Wisconsin Dells or any that part of that area, They are looking for surveillance footage of a 1997 Nissan Altima, and this is the vehicle. So they've got the vehicle. They want surveillance footage. So it's got a Wisconsin tag, which starts with an A and ends in a 0, and it's beige in colour. So they're wanting surveillance footage of this vehicle. So they obviously want to trace its movements on February 19th. So let's just read that latest message again, because I think this is really important. So this is the latest update from March the 8th. So I am expecting an update either today or tomorrow. They do seem to be updating very regularly on the Two Rivers Police Department Facebook page. Over the last several days, we have conducted more searches, primarily of rural areas. Searches being conducted at the landfill have been completed. So they haven't found anything or like Elijah at the landfill, which is thankfully a good thing. But where is he? Further searches were conducted on the West Twin River by the Department of Natural Resources, I think it is. Volunteers from local law enforcement, fire, state and federal agencies, in addition to students from our local technical colleges, conducted a large-scale search yesterday. So that was the 7th. They were in the Green Bay area. Thank you to all the property owners for their cooperation. We'd also like to thank all those that donated food and beverages for the search efforts. We will continue to search areas with law enforcement personnel, drones and dogs as we continue to follow up on all tips and leads reported to the tip line, which is 844-267-6648, or the Manitowoc County Crime Stoppers P3 app. So the numbers are across the bottom of the screen. So you've got the tip line, and then you've got the dispatch. We continue to seek out videos. This is the video stuff. We continue to seek out video from February 19th between 2 p.m. and 9 p.m. So there's a very specific reason why they want that information. We don't know why, but there's obviously a very specific reason why they want that information. From homeowners and businesses where the vehicle of interest from our last press release may be seen. The vehicle is a 1997 four-door Nissan Altima beige, bearing Wisconsin registration, beginning with A and ending with 0. Law enforcement currently is in possession of the identified vehicle. Due to the duration of the hours requested to be reviewed, we are asking the public beyond the greater Two Rivers area and adjacent counties to review their videos as well. Thank you, RZ, for the $2. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Thank you. Please use the following link to complete a short informational form and upload video. If you experience technical difficulties or do not have access to upload your video, please call the tip line 844-267-6648. On March 7th, Katrina Bauer appeared in Manitowoc County Circuit Court for a preliminary hearing. Prior to the hearing, an amendment was made to the criminal complaint, and that's the one that we've just read. So she got additional charges. They're both in court again on the 14th, so that's Thursday. So I'll update after that hearing. Community support we've received has been amazing as we continue to look for Elijah. Recently, a local group began decorating downtown light poles with blue and green ribbons in support of the efforts to find Elijah. We encourage you all to do the same in addition to your tips and search efforts. I think we can do blue and green hearts in the chat, can't we? We can do that. Blue and green hearts in the chat. We appreciate everyone's concern, dedication and assistance in trying to locate Elijah. So that's from the police captain of Two Rivers. And this is who we're talking about. This is a little boy here who his mother thought he was too badly behaved. You know, he needed to man up. He needed to go to boot camp. Yeah. That's who we're actually talking about. Let's flood this chat with blue and green hearts. Dreadful. How do you change the colours on iPhone? If you just go to your emojis and type in heart, it'll come up with lots of different coloured hearts. So, there we go. There we go. Another terrible, terrible case. We just get through the Adam Montgomery trial, coming to the end of the Corey Bigsby trial. And we get this. We've had Audrey. We've got Madeline. We've got Sebastian missing still in Tennessee. Lots of cases to follow up and just hope for the best. But I don't think things ended well for this little guy. I can't help it. That's just the way it's looking at the moment. Many of Elijah's bio father's relatives have said they weren't allowed to see Elijah. Yeah. I think what happens in these abuse cases is that family members who want to see the child are kept away so that they don't raise an alarm. Yeah, Michael Vaughan's still missing. Summer Wells is still missing. So many. So many horrendous stories. Anyhow, that's all I had to say. We're up to date on this case now. So I shall bid you farewell. Blue and green hearts to see us out in the chat. So thank you all. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the donations. Welcome to the new members. Thanks as always to the mods. And I'll see you later if anything breaks. If there's a murder charge breaks in the Madeline Soto case, then I'll be back. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye, folks.